All right, everyone. Welcome back to Stories from a Mountain Town. This is your host, Tyler Meany, coming to you today from the offices here at Snake River Brew Pub. I have with me Elliott Wilkins, the marketing manager. Is that your title here? Marketing
Sales and events coordinator.
Sales and events coordinator. Sorry about that. But I have Elliott here with me today. We have brought in a six-pack of the Jenny Lake Lager for us to enjoy during this nice little conversation. Elliott, say hi to the nice people.
Howdy.
So yeah, let's get into these beers.
Please do.
Oh, you already have one, so I'll get into the beers.
Yeah, there's never
Yeah.
there's never enough though.
So we have Jenny Lake Lager. It's a Vienna style lager. I would call this probably top three most popular.
Definitely.
With the Pale Ale, Pacos, and this probably are the top three, right?
Yeah, Paco's certainly number one.
Yeah.
Earned it. Our New England Hazy is giving it a run for its money though.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it's just that whole beer style, the New England Hazies, for a few years has just been craziness, right?
Yeah, people love hazies right now. Cheers.
It's cheers, man. Welcome.
Thank you. There's some, I do enjoy a good hazy, but there's some that I like to call them lazy IPAs because they're like just unfiltered, less filtered than others. Some of the worst ones. The Earned It is a very good one. You don't feel like you just drank dirt or something. Some of them you can.
Yeah. That's good. It's a good thing, man.
Yeah.
They brew everything true to style.
Mm-hmm.
So we're definitely not going to be the place where you're going for, a crazy kiwi, whatnot. And they also, all those juicy flavors, they should come directly from the hops.
Mm-hmm.
And you can definitely tell when you're getting something that was added after.
Yeah.
It just tastes super jammy and artificial. I think that's one of the reasons why people love Earned It so much.
Mm-hmm.
It also has a good helping of oats that they add at the end. Makes it super smooth.
Yeah.
It's done really well. So,
Mm-hmm.
we've been...
I always get it if I like do a big hike or something and then come here. I feel like I have earned it.
Yeah. Oh,
just based off the name.
Well,
you could have called it anything else, but because I
Right.
feel like I've earned it, then I picked that one.
Yeah. Well, I love... It's probably my favorite label.
Yeah.
I think you're aware we rebranded back in May.
Mm-hmm.
All local artists that we got. So Jeremy Collins out of Denver actually did the Earned It cans.
Cool.
But yeah, the can is Jackson.
Yeah.
It just speaks Jackson.
It does. And they all do. I mean, I love that the rebranding. It kind of is. Are they all kind of a similar image that they used to be, but just a different like style of art? Is that the thing?
Generally, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they have a similar theme, just kind of trying to make it just that a little refresh and also highlight some of the local artists that we have in town.
Yeah.
It's the same reason why we have featured artists in the brew pub.
Mm-hmm.
Every couple months. We've got that massive mural outside, which we're actually looking to update in the next year here. So,
Awesome. Yeah. So this one, Jenny Lake one is a picture of Jenny Lake. You can see like the Grand and the what canyon is that? Not Death Canyon. Anyway, there's a big canyon right across Jenny Lake from where people can normally look at it.
Right.
And then that's pictured here on the can.
Yeah, and then all these.
Oh yeah,
all these
the
guys
sticker
actually,
thing.
they're meant to be peeled off. Makes recycling easier. We also got a pretty cool sticker.
Yeah.
Slap on your snowboard, and
I totally forgot about that.
just in case you get lost through a map of the Snake River on there.
Yeah, if you're floating and you have a few too many of these, you can get your way out. Yeah, so that's a cool thing. The labels are totally come off, and then they're what's the word where there's like perforated. Yeah, the edges are perforated, so you can just take like the main logo part and put it on something. You don't have to have like the barcode or anything involved.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's awesome. That's just another way that, I mean, I don't know how much people care about stickers that are drinking beer, but it's just a differentiator. Where
100%.
I mean, your lager is similar to most lagers, just because it's a beer and a lot of beer tastes the same. But this is a differentiator. It's a local artist that changes things. That's a lot of little differentiators that probably make a big difference when you add them together and you're in a market like Jackson.
Yeah, most definitely.
Jackson loves its locals.
That's for sure. Yeah, there's 10,000 of us, so we gotta stick together, right?
Yeah, we're 10,000. I sometimes would call it less because
I think it is technically less.
Yeah, people who probably just are here for 6 months and a day,
right?
Who to get the tax benefit, which is cool too because I don't like taxes either. But we're 10,000 that support 2 million or 3 million tourists
during
throughout the year.
Yeah, 3.5 easy.
Yeah, it's like there's those days in like July you just don't even want to go through the square.
No.
And it's all just stupid people walking.
Well, it gets scary on the road sometimes.
Yeah.
I mean, I tell people all the time, like, I don't care how good a driver you are, you can't control the person next to you.
Yeah. Or even in the winter when there's more animals around, how crazy people get to like just rip off the road and get a picture, and they're just like cops have to like direct traffic if there's a moose around a touristy area because they're trying to get so close. And every time I drive by, I'm like, I hope you get mauled.
Jeez.
That was dark. Sorry, everyone. That was dark.
Yeah, no, I mean, I agree for the most part. I mean, when I have people visit constantly. That's one of the beautiful parts about living right here. Mm-hmm. You don't have to, oh, come on, please come. No, it's a given.
No,
you're
going
to come to Jackson to visit, and you're going to love it.
Yeah.
But yeah, you got to deal with, it's a double-edged sword.
Yeah. Yeah, we had that. It was like the whole summer, pretty much, from the end of June through July and August, like almost every single weekend we had someone out. And then the weekends we didn't. Taylor, my girlfriend's a labor and delivery nurse at the hospital. So she does one weekend a month. So then the one weekend we didn't have people, she'd be working. So summer was amazing with everyone coming by, but it's kind of a grind to be like.
Well, it's emotionally exhausting, right? You're hosting people constantly, and you're also working full time too. So,
yeah.
But it's why we live here, right?
Yeah, to work really hard and then get the benefit of being able to drive 15 minutes and go to a ski tour or go to the best ski resort in the world.
Yeah.
Or in the summer go mountain biking or fishing or something like that.
Yeah.
And it's right here. And we're in his office. What road are we on? Is that Millward and
Hanson?
Millward and Hanson. Yeah, right next to the brew pub. But we're looking up at pretty much at Snow King. Yeah. Beautiful view. I don't know how much work I would get done if this was my office.
So I face this way.
Yeah, his desk is facing away from the window. But yeah, this is an awesome little spot. Like you could just do a little at like a lunch break, just go do Snow King.
Yeah, people do all the time.
Yeah.
It's if you're not taking advantage of it, then why be here?
Yeah. And I think that's what drives people to leave. They forget why they came here.
The grass is always greener on the other side.
Yeah,
right? And at least the perception of that.
Yeah, it's probably a lot of like the financial thing. It's like, God, it's so expensive. I just want to get out of that.
Right.
But it's like,
which is fair, right?
Yeah, that's valid. But then you get somewhere else, and it's like, oh wait, I have to drive an hour to go snowboarding.
Yeah,
I don't know about that. And in the last podcast, Fred was saying there's a big boomerang effect where people will leave for whatever reason, and then they realize, oh wait, this isn't as cool. And then they come back.
Absolutely. I mean, my boss Luke, the sales and marketing director, I think this is his either third or fourth time.
Yeah.
Right. So he has come and gone. He's quintessential Jackson story.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'll have to have him on too.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Luke's got wild stories.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Wild stories.
So let's bring it all the way back. When did you first come to Jackson? And was that for like vacation, or what reason was that? And then like kind of what did you think of the area, whether it was what do you think of the mountains or the people or just like the whole the energy that we have here? Yeah.
So my family is kind of strange in that during Christmas time, right, we did not do a traditional Christmas, right? Like not once did we ever put up lights, get a tree, do presents, none of it. Mm-hmm. All of it went towards finding a new place to ski.
Oh, cool.
Which was that's all I could ask for.
Yeah.
So I came out here with my brother and my dad when I was 19, I think. And hands down, I mean, easiest thing right off the bat is it was the best skiing I've ever done in my life.
Yeah.
Like, that's not a question.
Yeah. And you grew up in Oregon?
Chicago.
Chicago, sorry. Yeah. You said you lived in Oregon or something like that?
My brother has been in Portland for 10 plus years now, so it's kind of a second home.
Oh, okay. Point. Sorry, I got confused.
No.
Chicago.
Yeah, Chicago. So if we weren't making a push out west, we'd drive to a little bunny hill across the border in Wisconsin and call it skiing. And but yeah, I mean, I had the opportunity to go ski at like Vail and Beaver Creek because I had some family friends that lived over there, so made it pretty accessible. Great skiing, but the terrain here, you drive up. We drove from Salt Lake City, so we got the full range of it, right?
Yeah, you go from the flat southwestern part of Wyoming, and then it just starts getting higher and higher, and then then the Tetons show up, and then it's like, whoa!
It's fucking nuts because they're so jagged, and the range is so young.
Yeah,
that it makes them look way bigger than if say you're in the Front Range out in Denver. Those guys are all 14ers.
Yeah.
These are smaller, but they just look way more magnificent. So that was the first thing right off the bat. I was like, holy shit, this does not look real.
Yeah.
We're gonna ski that. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. In Wisconsin, or I grew up in Minnesota, so came from that snowboarding to here. It was like it takes 30 minutes to go down.
Yeah.
The 5 seconds. And then at those hills, you have to look up a little bit, like a very small angle, and then at the base of the resort here, you're looking up like this, almost straight up, because that's the big thing about the Tetons. They're a bit more vertical than like pretty much every other mountain range.
Yeah, I mean, shit, even Snow King, right?
Yeah, Snow King, and so I live on Saddle Butte.
Okay.
Both of those look pretty small compared to the Tetons, but they're bigger than anything in Minnesota or Wisconsin and probably Illinois.
Oh, that's for sure.
Right?
That's for sure. We have garbage dumps that we ski out in Illinois.
Oh, really?
Not kidding.
That's wild.
So it was a change. But anyways, so I was 19, came out with my brother and my dad, and we actually came here. Came to the brew pub for dinner one night. Nice. That's where locals went. That's where they still go.
Yeah.
And so we kind of wanted to see what Jackson was all about. I, of course, was not of age to legally drink at the time, so my brother had a lot of fun just kind of shoving it in my face. I love him.
Yeah.
But I remember leaving that trip just thinking in the back of my head, man, this will never happen, but what a pipe dream. Like if I could be somewhere like here.
Yeah.
I mean, I think oftentimes, at least for myself, your head just gets ahead of you. Keeps you from doing what you really want to do. And that was the case with Jackson. Like for a long time, I was like, man, I wish I could somehow be out there. But I was also, still am very career focused. And frankly, that was what brought me out to Jackson. Was to be right here at the brew pub. And just the way it's worked out has just blown my mind.
Yeah.
Because I got out of, so I was right out of college. I was in the Army. I got discharged. I had no fucking idea what I was going to do with my life. Was selling insurance and investments for a while. And I was just like, oh my God, I can't do this anymore. And my brother finally was like, dude, you love craft beer. You can sell. Just make it happen. Right? Like I think he truthfully just wants to live vicariously through me, which I'm happy to accept.
Yeah.
But he gave me the little nudge and quit my job and got into the industry. And a year later, I was out here.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I love that. I love when you said the thing about the pipe dream, because for me too, it was for some reason, before you actually know what things cost or like how much money you make, like when you're in college, you don't really know.
Yeah.
And it had always been built up in my head and like from other people, like it's super expensive to live here. You're either like basically in poverty or you're a billionaire.
Right. Yeah.
And then I finally got to a point, I was like, I really want to live somewhere in the mountains. And I was like, wait a minute, like I make pretty good money. Taylor makes pretty good money. And I bet we make more than like someone that just like works at a ski shop or something.
Yep.
So, and they can figure it out. I can figure it out. Yep. That was where it finally was like, I can do this.
Yeah, and that's what I was talking about earlier. Like, your mind just gets in the way.
Yeah, it was totally good. Got in the, and obviously I had to go through college and get all that and get the job to allow me to do that. But yeah, there was a couple years where it was like, I would never be able to afford it. I'd have to work have to be a bartender for my second job, and I was like, I don't want to do that. Yeah, and then it was actually that guy Fred. We were out here on vacation, and we were telling him how we're like trying to live somewhere in the mountains. We looked at Ogden around Salt Lake, and then kind of thought about Denver and stuff like that, but it never really worked out. And then he's like, why don't you just live here? Yeah. And for some reason, something simple as that.
So yeah, why don't I?
Yeah. And I was like, wait, yeah, you're right. Why don't I? And then that's where I broke down the cost of living thing in my own head. I was like, what? No, wait, we can figure that out. Yeah. And then it just all worked out. How long did it take for you for it to click in your head that you're a resident of Jackson Hole Mountain Resort is your local hill, and this is your life now? Because it took me quite a while.
I'm still pinching myself for sure. Yeah, I've only been out here for a year, so I'm still definitely very new. Yeah. That's a good question. I mean, you definitely. I think it really depends on the hobbies that you throw yourself into and the community. Mm-hmm. Obviously, the Jackson community as a whole, but finding your own little niche community. So when I first got out here, I knew what I was doing during the winter. It was not a question. I'm going to be skiing. Yes. So it was really more of during the summer, what do I want to get into? And you have so many options. And I'm more along the lines of I like to do a couple of things and get highly proficient at them rather than casting out such a wide net that, you're just kind of doing it very casually, which you also definitely have the ability to do in Jackson because everything is so freaking accessible. Yeah. But I, of all things, found myself getting into pack rafting. Oh. I don't know if you're familiar with that at all.
All I know is that it's like a small inflatable raft that can be packed. Yes. So you ride the river.
Well said, Tyler.
Pack rafting 101 right there.
Also, APA getting featured tonight at Trivia. You're not going to see this until after, but give them a shout.
Yeah. What is that? The American
Pack Rafting Association.
Okay, yeah. Sorry.
Of America.
Of America. That's like the from the movie Dodgeball. Yeah. Was that on purpose? Yes. Okay. Yeah. I saw your post today about that. I was like, oh, that's kind of a cool feature group. Yeah. So you have a little raft and you run rapids and you just float to camp, or what do you do with it?
Yeah, well, that's the beautiful thing about it, right? So you have a lot of versatility. The reason why I love it is because it just combines two of my favorite things in Jackson, which is get a good hike in. So you can, do a 3-4 whatever hike, hit a river, a spot that you normally wouldn't be able to access with, a traditional whitewater raft. So it's essentially just a single occupancy, smaller whitewater raft. Mm-hmm. I definitely like to take it down some, I'm not going to call it super crazy stuff, but 2-3, awesome time.
So the popular lunch counter, July, that's a 4, right?
Yeah, that I'm not there yet. I'm not there yet. So Luke, my boss, took me out for the first time, very beginning of the summer. He's like, yeah, man, it's going to be a great time. I've been a few times, and it's a really cool sport, and, let's get after it. I was like, hell yeah. I'm looking for things to do. Let's do it. Uh-huh. And so it's me, him, a former river guide who's there with us, and one other buddy. And we quickly realized that we are quite literally well in over our heads. Yeah. Specifically me, right? Yeah. And so we get to, we did the Buffalo Fork for anyone who's familiar with that stretch, which is
not. Where's that?
So if you just head a north, it's probably 25 minutes north of the airport. So it's not terribly far. It's fairly accessible. There's a 3-mile hike out there where you drop in.
Is it by Buffalo Valley? It's almost to Moran.
Not quite.
Oh.
It's kind of on the way.
Uh-huh.
But if you're if you're headed north, it's just a little bit west of there.
On the Snake, though. Right?
Yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And so we get onto it, and it's for like the first few hours, it's killer time, 2s, a little bit of 3s, and then we quickly come around a bend, and things are picking up.
Yeah.
Right. I'm getting a little nervous for sure, because you can hear it, right? You're coming around the bend, you can just hear this stuff is heating up real fast, and then you go around, you're like, oh shit.
And were you in your individual podcast for that one too?
Yeah.
And everyone's in their individual.
Everyone's
ones.
in their own boats, and so we've got myself, Luke. We've got the river guide who is at the front. So I'm relying on him to just pick lines for the most part and be like, hey, we can do this. You guys can do this, or maybe we'll skirt around the canyon and drop in like a half mile down. Which we did. So like we're skirting the side of the canyon there in the ravine, and I don't know, probably 100 yards or so that we're just kind of maneuvering around this thing. And we come to the side and we're like, all right, this looks okay. We'd probably drop in here. Labonte goes first, ref guide. I go second. I made it through two troughs. And these things just swallowed me.
Yeah.
And so, I'm kicking up, and I go through the first one. I'm like, oh, fuck, that was big. And I go through the second one. I'm like, oh, I'm not going to make it through a third. Please don't be a third. We hit the third so hard and just flipped me. And I was like, oh, goddamn.
And the water was cold at that time, right?
Oh, it's
early spring.
It was freezing.
Yeah.
It was freezing. So you get dumped in, and just immediately, right, you start to go into shock a little bit.
Yeah.
So I was just trying to talk myself quickly off a ledge of, hey, buddy, breathe, right? Just breathe. You got a PFD on, just fucking breathe.
Yeah.
And so I'm trying to hold on to the boat. It's flipped over on its back. I'm trying to hold on to the paddle, just inhaling water. And it was scary. But shit, it's addicting, right? And I kind of think that, if it doesn't scare you a little bit, it's not worth doing.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was my introduction to pack rafting. And
that's how you got hooked.
Yeah, that's how I got hooked. It was like, hey, let's whack this kid on the river.
Yeah.
I was like, man, Luke, you want to fire me? There are other ways to do it. You don't have to kill me.
Yeah. Or get you to quit or something.
Right, yeah. It was fun, though. Went a handful more times after that.
Have you done the South Park to Astoria stretch ever?
No, not yet. I've done down by Hoback Junction, like the Grays, Hoback a little bit, like 5-mile stretches on there, but I haven't hit that yet.
Yeah, we did that on the 4th of July.
Nice.
Among other people doing that.
Yeah.
And we tried to, talk to anybody we could that would have done it before and be like, is this something this random people can just float and drink on?
Yeah.
And everyone said yeah, you're good. And so we just get the tubes from Albertsons. Yeah. They're just shitty tubes.
Oh my God. Did they survive?
They did. They all survived. And we got ones that had a rope to connect them all. So we had a group of 8. So all right, sweet. We'll just connect each other and we thought it'd be safer. And then someone there was a floatable cooler that came with it. So we put that in the inside of our circle, so that didn't leave our circle.
Protect the cooler at all costs.
Yeah, that was the big issue. And then we're getting in. None of us have life jackets. We're just whatever. It's everyone we talked to said it was chill.
Yeah.
And there's a river. I don't know what they're called. River police kind of people.
Sure.
I don't know what they're called. Yeah, river police. They're ripping up and down in the boats everywhere. They're at the place we're putting in, making sure people are okay. And they're checking us. They're like, do you guys have life jackets? We're like, nope. They're like, do you guys have any paddles? We're like, nope. They're like, all right, hope to see you on the way out. We're like, what? Do we need those things?
Yeah.
And they're like, yeah, probably. And we're like, fuck. So we just get in, and then we're
very casual policing effort right there.
Yeah. As the last person steps in, another rescuer comes up and says, hey, if you see, we're looking for a male 6'2", dark hair, long hair. Let us know if you see him. And we're like, what?
Oh my god!
And so that's what they were patrolling. They had like someone that got missing the night before in the river, and they decided to tell us that as we're floating off.
Yeah, it's
we're just like,
definitely the most dangerous. The river takes more people, I think, than anything else out here.
Yeah, definitely. We started going. It was nice. It was super sunny and warm, and it's pretty chill in the beginning. A couple little spots. Then you get down towards Hoback, and then the canyon gets higher on the sides, so the wind whip picks up, and then the clouds covered the sun, so we're like sitting in this like 50-degree water with no sun, wind whipping around. So we're all chattering our teeth away. But we eventually make it down to Astoria and get out, and it was all good. It was one sketchy part where like Taylor, my girlfriend, is the only one who got like flipped, and I got knocked off, but my tube didn't get flipped. But yeah, that's like a whole different beast that I don't want to tackle right now.
And make you feel alive. Yeah. If you get to the other side. Right?
Yeah, we got out and we're all just like going through that like cold shock sort of thing, and just happy to be out and just like.
It would be nice when they open the hot springs down there and just pop off and then jump in.
Yeah, we've been trying to get down to like the natural ones there. Have you done those?
So I'm talking about in Astoria, they're building up that whatever tiny little resort, whatever you want to call it, which has the natural hot springs, and then you've got Granite, which right now you've got a snowmobile too, which is an awesome excursion, awesome excuse to jump in some natural hot springs. But
at the Astoria spot, there's like little pools like next to the river or like kind of in the river. That's what I was, and then people have like moved rocks around to make little pool type things, and then the spring pushes the hot water in, and then depending on how hot you want it, you either like let river water in or don't. And it's just like right next to the river. So we try to do that, but we haven't had the time yet. That'd be fun. Just kind of go out there and chill.
Yeah, I mean, I'm happy to have snow and ski, but that also gets me excited, itching to get out on the river again.
Yeah. Do you have a season pass to the resort?
Yeah. So thankfully, through the brew pub, we get a little bit of a discount. There's the tier pricing. So we get a little discount off of that, which makes a huge deal.
Taylor gets that too.
Yeah. I do like the little bypass option, which saves you like a couple $100, and you don't need to ski on the busiest days of the year, the days that you don't really want to be on the mountain anyway. You'd rather go to Targhee or Snow King or something like that instead.
Yeah, Christmas week wasn't that bad here.
It wasn't. I skied Christmas morning. I was trying to get out while everyone was doing their, doing their thing. It was not as bad as I anticipated it being.
Yeah, and then even I think I went out Christmas Day, maybe like 26th and like the 28th, and I think it was the 28th was like the busiest the resort has ever been. Is what the numbers said. But I was there, and like Thunder had like a line every once in a while. The gondola had a line, and the tram had a really bad line. But like Sublet didn't have like anything.
I think it's just all about where you go, like and at what time. I rarely ever take the tram up first thing in the morning, just because every tourist and their mother is headed up there right off the bat, which I think is kind of crazy, but to each their own. I think it just depends on timing and where you're at.
I like a good tram lap to start the day, but if it's too long, I won't do it.
It's usually just so damn long. I usually get out there at like 10:30 or 11 and finally get up to the top of Rendezvous.
I wonder if I thought I'd heard something where they blacked out like the Christmas week for the Icon Pass users, so there weren't as many of them out this year for that time.
That would explain quite a bit. I mean, again, I wasn't on the mountain from the 26th to like the 30th. That's sure locals were all happy about that.
Do you do any backcountry skiing or snowboarding? Do you ski or snowboard?
I ski.
Okay. Do you do any backcountry touring or anything?
Not so much. I think maybe it'll be something I get into more as time goes on. But, especially being my first full winter out here, I'm just trying to get every day on the mountain that I can.
Yeah.
It's hard not to, right? When you've got that crazy resort in your backyard.
Yeah, we can just like stroll up for like a one tram run and go home.
Yeah,
and just like have an afternoon.
God, that's my favorite thing.
Yeah,
2-3 hours, get some laps in, and get some work done after that. Call it a day.
Yeah, definitely. I should start doing like maybe an early morning one or something.
That's generally what I do.
Mm-hmm.
If I don't, it's a lot harder for me to work in the morning and then get out in the afternoon. I mean, unless the conditions are unprecedented, I always like to get out early.
Yeah.
The same way that, I think a lot of people like to work out in the morning.
Yeah.
Wakes you up a little bit and gives you a little bump for the rest of the day.
Yeah. I like, one of my hangover cures is just like going snowboarding.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's like the fresh air, the cold air, getting your blood pumping a little bit. That's always helped.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Better than just sitting on the couch all day.
Sometimes, man. New Year's Day, I was such a bum. I was so bad.
It's New Year's Day. You're allowed. You can get away with it.
Yeah. We had a big group that met up at our house and then went down to the Cowboy Bar, and they all played this stupid game of like, let's try to get Tyler drunk because I don't like seem drunk when I'm drinking.
Sure.
I just kind of stay.
You just cross a threshold at some point. You're like, oh, Tyler's drunk.
I don't even think that happens. Like there's been days where like I certainly feel it, and then they're like, oh, you seem normal last night. And I was like, I don't really get like talkative. I don't really slur.
Yeah.
The only thing I do is like dance more.
Well, slightly. Good on you, Ty.
Yeah. So they play this stupid game of let's just see how drunk we can get Tyler, and it never works out for me.
Yeah, I wonder why. You
got
a team of people that are pouring drinks down your throat.
Yeah. Did you go to the Cowboy Bar on New Year's? Or what did you do on New Year's?
I was hanging out with friends. We kept it pretty low key. We all wanted to get out on the mountain as early as possible. New Year's Day. So
yeah, that was a big snow day, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was awesome. And that was another reason why, like, we knew the system was coming in. So we're like, all right, let's start early, end early.
Yeah.
Fuck the ball. Let's hit the mountain.
Yeah. I love getting those, I think they send them out at like 6, the notifications from the app saying like if it's a big snowfall.
Yeah.
That's like the best way to wake up.
Oh.
It's like, I've been trying to wake up earlier, like 5:30. This year, I call it my resolution.
Sure.
But being up and then seeing that, and then I already have some time where I can like get work done, or if it's a work day, or do other stuff if I need to, and then be like, okay, I can. It's
a reason to get out of bed earlier and get to work earlier, so you can enjoy why you're living here.
Yeah, exactly. All right, yeah, cool. So tell us a little bit about like your day-to-day operations here, being the what was your title again?
The sales and
event coordinator. Tell us more about what that means day to day.
Sure. Yeah. Frankly, my schedule is highly fluid. So every day is not the same, which I adore. Half of it is in the brew pub and half of it is doing sales outside. So I have a territory in Idaho, Southwest Wyoming. So I'm generally in those spots once a week. Once a month, once a quarter. And then in the brew pub, I plan all of our trivia nights, dart tournaments, stuff like that, the parties that we throw. So, I mean, day to day, it's whatever we feel like we need to tackle.
Yeah. And so your accounts, are they like bars and restaurants or distributors?
So it's so we sell all of our beer to distributors who then supply bars, restaurants, liquor stores. So like for instance, when I go out to Idaho Falls, I'll go hang out with some of our distributors. We'll shoot around town, go to a bunch of different bars, liquor stores and whatnot. Check in, say, hey, shoot the shit a little bit, let them know what we've got coming down the pipeline, see if there's anything else we can do for them, stuff like that.
Yeah.
But man, it's a fun job, right? When I left So I think I mentioned like I was selling insurance and investments for a little while back in Chicago. My brother was like, dude, it's miserable. Go do something you like.
Yeah.
And so I ended up running a beer department at a high level or a specialty liquor store. And that's how I got my feet wet a little bit and just cracked the door open, which was not a great job, frankly. But it did give me a lot of experience. Just gave me some ins and some connections. But honestly, when I left that financial sales job, this is what I pictured. Snake River Brewing, more or less. And this type of role where I have the opportunity to get out, talk about the craft beer that we're pouring out there, but also get people into the brew pub because this place is awesome. Yeah, and it's a staple. It's been around forever.
Yeah, Jackson's living room.
Yeah.
I fudged it up on the podcast with Fred. I forgot what it was called, and then I looked up on the website today. Jackson's living room.
Yeah, well, it's the local stop, right?
Yeah.
And because it's the local stop, when you're in town visiting and you want a taste of what Jackson is really like, and you've gone to the Cowboy Bar umpteenth times, this is where you want to go.
Yeah.
Everyone is super friendly, super welcoming. Everyone knows everyone. And if you walk in for the first time, you are going to feel like a local for at least a couple hours.
Yeah.
Which I think that's so damn cool.
Yeah, but I've always thought it's interesting. The guys who just come in to have a couple, they stand there, basically in the walkway.
Yeah, right on the mail rail.
Yeah, and it's like every time people are just standing, no matter what time of the day. It's like they could move 3 feet and go sit at a bar stool, but they choose to stand on this walkway that's basically right by the front door. So like the breeze would come in and get them and whatever. It's just like a funny little thing.
We're habitual creatures, Tyler.
Yes. They get their thing, and they've probably all been Mug Club members for like 20 years.
Long time. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you guys is your whole brewing operation here or next door?
Yeah, it's all right here. Everything is on site. They make all the food fresh on site. Mary the baker is in here at like 4 a.m.
Wow.
But yeah, they brew around the clock, and it's all. I don't know if you've been on like brewery tours at some of the larger, like a New Belgium, for instance.
No, I haven't.
Who kicks out great beer? I drink New Belgium.
Yeah.
For sure. But you walk into their facility, and it's an estate, and it's all automated.
Yeah.
But when you have that much capital and you've perfected your recipes, then why not? But everything is done absolutely handcrafted. I mean, they're still using the same metal paddles to stir up the mash. So you can see them doing it while you're eating or having a beer, which is also super cool. Like, brings people into the process, and you see what you're drinking. Yeah.
Have you ever heard of Russian River Brewing Company? Have you had any of their beers? Any of the Pliny's?
I don't know.
So their famous one, they have a main one called Pliny. It's one that's the younger and one that's the elder.
Okay.
And one they always have, and it's like a really good IPA. It's like their classic thing.
Yeah.
And then they have one they only do it like one weekend a year in February.
Oh wow!
And you hear stories that people have wait like 6 hours just to get one growler of it.
Yeah, that's good on them. That's awesome.
It's absurd. So it's out in like Santa Rosa, California.
Okay, yeah.
But they just what year was that? Not 19. In 2018, I think they just opened up an enormous, like $30 million new brew pub, and their whole brewing facilities in it, and that thing is like pristine.
It is state of the art.
Yeah,
it's the same equipment in the brew house since '94.
Yeah,
that's not changed.
There's probably been updates to the like technology, right?
Yeah. I mean, we originally were bottling. We're canning now.
Oh, look at you! Now found in cans, everyone.
Yes. Which is in fact better for the beer and transportation. Which is always a fun conversation. When I used to run the beer department back in Chicago, I used to get in the most ridiculous arguments with mostly older folks who were fairly set in their ways. They want a bottle, and that's fine. You want to drink out of a bottle, that is absolutely your prerogative.
Yeah.
But if you want to get into the science of it, it's not as good for the beer, right? It's letting light in, you get more oxygen in, ruins the beer faster. And then also just transportation, you can ship at least 2 times as much in cans than with bottles, and breakage. So, we've seen in the industry, vast majority of folks, all of them who historically were bottling, all of them are switching to cans now.
Oh, interesting. Did you ever, I was talking to, my family has a cabin in northern Wisconsin, in Hayward. We were talking to one of the bar owners up there, and they were saying how the distributor was trying to sell them like 4 different versions of the same beer. So it'd be like, up there, it'd be Miller Lite cans, Miller Lite pounders, Miller Lite fancy bottle, Miller Lite regular bottles, and then like the different sized cases of all those things.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's how what they have to stock for some reason, even though like you go to liquor store and it's a 12-pack of bottles.
Reluctantly had to make those purchases all the time. At the last job.
Yeah, that's just so silly because
it's insane.
But it's right how people are just they get into their
comfort zone.
Yeah, they get in the comfort zone. They're like, all right, it's Friday afternoon. I go buy my 12-pack of whatever at the liquor store, or they buy their whatever size pack, and they only want to buy that size pack.
Right.
That's what they do. It's more of like their process now than it is actual like critical thinking of like, I should buy just whatever other price.
Yeah, most people are not comfortable with change. Right?
Yeah. Yeah. Did you ever watch Mad Men?
A little bit. Yeah, I never got super into it, but some episodes.
I have a marketing degree, and I was watching it through college because I just loved marketing and advertising and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And there's a great line from Don Draper. He has many that he says, change is neither good nor bad. It just is.
Yeah, absolutely.
And ever since I heard that, I was like, my mentality about change has been totally different. It's not like, do I like this or do I dislike this? It's more like, this is happening,
right?
Or this happened. What can I do to benefit from it or minimize the risk from it or something like that?
Yeah. I mean, it's just, that's life.
Yeah,
right.
It's a good way to like stop trying to be so attached to the past or something. When you just like, change just happens, so you just have to, go with it.
Right, which is, it's certainly easier said than done for many people.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, if you can maintain or embrace that mentality that this right here, right now, it's not going to be like this forever.
Yeah.
Things are going to change, and you just got to take it in stride. And if you can't do that, I think you end up probably turning into more of a bitter person. And
that's how you become a bitter old person.
Yeah. So now you know.
Now you know. Psychology 101.
Right. We've hit a couple, right? So
we hit pack rafting. Now we hit psychology, and how do you not become a bitter person?
Yes.
Embrace change, everyone.
Man, just wait till number 3.
Yeah, we got something planned for you.
Yeah.
But I didn't know I knew about the can thing. I knew that like letting light in was, and more mostly when it's like, warm sunlight, you don't want that to heat up the beer. But I didn't know about the oxygen and the breakage and stuff. That's interesting.
Yeah, I mean, you definitely don't want oxidized beer, right? Yeah, so cans they block that much more out. And yes, certainly it's a hell of a lot easier, not just for us, but for distributors as well, to be kicking out cans. And it's no fun cleaning up glass.
Yeah.
Ever.
There's a lot, most beers, like if it's like a, a non-craft beer, super okay with a can, drinking it out of the can. And with this one too, with the lager, I'm good with that. But like if it's like a heavier IPA or like some of the stouts and some of the heavier ones, I want to do it in a glass. Pour it from the can to the glass.
Yeah, you are not wrong.
Yeah.
80% of flavor comes from smell. And oftentimes when I'd be having one of these delightful conversations about why cans are in fact better for the beer. You know, people will always say that, well, I can still taste the metal, and I'm like, well, hands down, right off the bat, like, pour it in a glass. You're going to get the absolute most. And if you're paying a little bit more for craft beer rather than a Miller Lite, if you can, pour it in a glass.
Yeah. Even though sometimes, like, I'll just, if I want to do like a cold, like a Coors Light and like a cold,
it's going to taste better.
Pint glass, and maybe if like throw an olive or something in there.
Yeah. Yeah. And if you know, when people do say that they taste metal or whatever it is, generally the only metal part of the can that you actually come in contact with is the lid, right?
Yeah.
So when you taste that, you're smelling the lid. So I tell people, if it's really bothering them, like as you're taking a drink, just hold your breath for a hot second, and it'll change the experience 100%.
Well, did you take any beer classes in college, or any like brewing training or anything to like learn this stuff, or is it just from being in the industry?
No, it's just being in the industry, and you know, my brother got me into it a long time ago, so we were going to brew tours and stuff like that for a long time. But yeah, I mean, once you start living and breathing it and working it every day, just like I'm sure with all the marketing stuff that you do, like no matter what you're doing, you learn better on the job.
Yeah.
So if I'm ever learning like a new task, you can tell me, but you need to tell me while I'm doing it, you know, so I can actually do it myself and learn, which is the same. I did a little brewing session of our pale ale earlier this summer, which just doing one session, right, will teach you that much more about the process. And at least for me, it makes me a hell of a lot better at my job.
Yeah. Then you can explain like why things the way they are the way they are.
Yeah. And I mean, you know, if you're passionate about something, then interest will take you down the rabbit hole pretty quickly.
Yeah, you can get it. I personally can get Taylor, you know this, you just yelled at me the other day for this. I can get really obsessed with things out of nowhere. Like I said,
so would you say it's impulsive, or you go down the rabbit hole at least mentally?
It's like kind of like an ADD.
Because my girlfriend would say that I'm highly impulsive.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd be described as impulsive, but it'd be like randomly I'm just like, I'm gonna do this thing, and then I'm obsessed with that thing, and then I don't stop doing that thing for like a month.
Yeah, I definitely
right now I've been do you play Xbox or game at all?
Not for a while.
Yeah,
but I used to for sure.
Yeah, so the new Call of Duty came out, and
they're still kicking out CODs. That's great.
Yeah, they got so bad in the end, the last few, that they had to redo Modern Warfare. So that was like Call of Duty 4.
That's you one of the last ones that and like Black Ops were the last ones.
Yeah,
that I played.
So they kind of rebooted that series because they're getting so bad.
Yeah. And also when you come out with one every single year and you don't change all that much, you're just cannibalizing your own sales anyway. You're going to get tired of it.
Yeah, there's a new model in video game making where it's like make a game where you can maybe run it for 2 or 3 years and make updates to it and have new maps and new characters be put into it. And it's probably a new like development platform that came out that allowed that or something like that.
Yeah, I mean that was one of the reasons why I stopped playing, because after a certain point, you know, you go through the campaign or something and then you're playing online. The next one comes out, everyone's going to the next one.
Yeah.
So there's not that many people playing online. So like you said, if you can refresh a campaign or something and make it a little bit more engaging long term, for sure. Yeah,
my Xbox is doing an update right now, but on the obsessive thing, I was like holding that off because I was like, I know I'll get obsessed with this.
Yeah.
I can't buy it. I can't do it. And then like the day after Christmas, it goes on like 50% discount.
Yeah.
So I was like, shit, I should do this. So
it would be irresponsible of me not to get this right now.
Yes. And so I bought it, and now I've been like playing it nonstop, and I'm just like, that's a not good obsession. Then there's good obsessions where, you know, like I'll just get into a rabbit hole of like Google AdWords. Like we started doing that for a client. I just like got obsessed with like, how do I do this? How do I figure this out?
Isn't that a beautiful thing when your passions and your work just just align.
Yeah.
They come together.
Yeah.
Makes it a hell of a lot easier.
It takes a lot of... do you know who Gary Vaynerchuk is?
No.
Gary V. He's a entrepreneurial marketing guru guy. He's, a billionaire, and he runs this big marketing agency in New York. But he posts probably the most content I've ever seen from a marketing executive, and it's all really relatable stuff.
Okay.
So when I'll lend you my book. He wrote a couple books, but it's really good stuff. And you just follow him on Instagram, you'll learn a ton. It's all about how do you find your passion? How do you continue to work hard? How do you grow your thing, whatever your passion is?
Right.
We'll take this podcast for an example. I really, really think that Jackson Hole is cool.
Yeah.
And the surrounding areas and the people here. And so Gary was this guy, just from listening to him on social media, who's like, you can make something out of a small hobby passion.
Yeah.
And maybe it's a podcast, maybe it's like a YouTube channel where he has the example of, you like comic books, or you like the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and you would make a YouTube page reviewing them or talking about the comics, or a vlog going to Comic-Con or something. There's actual money to be made in that space now.
Mm-hmm.
Because of how popular all the social medias are. And I forgot where I was going with that. Finding your passion.
Yeah.
He talks a lot about you need to go out and, try things to figure out what your passion is, because there's very little chance that, what you experienced up through high school and even through college is what you, A, are good at, and B, want to do.
100%.
So you just got to go taste things.
Yeah.
And that might be more literal for you because it ended up being beer.
Right.
But
but also moving around, right? I was in Chicago, but I also lived in Ohio. I was in Georgia.
Yeah.
And you figure out pretty quickly. I mean, just when you're looking for a significant other, a spouse.
Yeah.
That's why you date.
Yeah.
Right?
You date
look for what you find appealing and what you get along with, and it's the same mentality of where you end up. I think physically and also career-wise. It all fits together. Nothing.
Yeah, we have this idea that what 17-year-old you picked as a major
oh, God.
is what you're gonna like and be good at.
Yeah.
Just because you paid that much money to get a degree.
Right.
And it's just a silly concept to be like.
It's crazy, man.
I mean, certainly people do that. I picked marketing and marketing management as my degree because I knew I wanted to be in business.
Yeah.
Wanted to do sales and marketing.
I did the same thing. I was in marketing, and that was quite literally the exact reasoning. I didn't know what I wanted to do because it's fucking dumb 17-year-old, right? I wouldn't expect myself to know what to do, but I knew it would give me options.
Yeah, but that's not that. Yeah, that's not like an industry specific thing, Mine wasn't either.
No,
I took most of the kind of the stuff we did in college was for small businesses. We got to work with small businesses, and that was cool.
Yeah.
But then my first job out of college was working for a financial technology company that provides core banking and processing and big software for banks.
Mm-hmm.
So totally flip the switch, not that creative. It's numbers based. It's how can you speak to a CFO of a bank about this is why you should buy this. And I love that. Still do that. But it's some majors put you two in a box of an industry.
Yeah, absolutely. And accounting.
Yeah.
You're probably going to be a CPA.
Yeah. My brother just got a CPA, and he's super smart, and he definitely is an accountant personality, super type A, super good at that stuff. But they paint this picture when he's an intern. It's oh, Ryan, you'll be a manager in 2 years, and then you'll be a director in 4 years, and then you'll be a partner in 6 years. It'll be perfect.
The structure is, it's that's definitely good for a lot of people.
But then it might be that if you work really, really hard and you're really good and you want to get better, and you go through the shit of having to travel to bumfuck nowhere.
Yeah.
Because he's an auditor.
Oh yeah, working for Deloitte or EY or something.
Deloitte, yeah.
Yep.
So I was laughing so hard at him because his internship was you got to go to Dallas and you got to go to all these dinners and Minnesota Twins games because in Minneapolis and happy hours, and all the full-time employees would take him out to lunch because they could expense it.
Mm-hmm.
And then his first assignment, he goes to middle of nowhere, North Dakota. And it's just like, that's like one bar. That's what they ate the entire week. And what I did was,
all right, we'll see you in a couple of years.
Yeah.
We're going to leave you here.
Yeah. Leave you there. And he's been going to like random other towns. And I'm just like, this is what you signed up for. Like, this is what you actually have to do.
Yeah.
It's not that pretty picture of like happy hours every day.
Right.
Twins games all the time. And they do a lot of that because the company knows that people get burnt out. But
yeah, I mean, I definitely have lots of friends and family members, frankly, that went that route. And I feel like the consistent theme that I found was that they initially really enjoyed it. But when you're traveling that often, at a certain point, your personality is either cut for that or it's not, and you're going to burn out.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean that it was the wrong job for you. And this is something that, like, when I have part of like an alumni association, so when I have like younger undergrads calling me for whatever reason, I tell them all the time, like, listen, you probably not gonna like the first job that you have. You might, and if you do, that's awesome. But that doesn't mean that it's a failure.
Yeah.
Like you have to take those steps, just like in sales. You might get 3 no's, but you gotta get through those so you can get to a yes.
Yeah, and if your mindset is that yes, the money comes along with the yes is worth it.
Right.
You don't want to be attached to those no's and thinking that they don't like you.
Right, and it's just this is a part of the process,
yeah.
And yeah, I mean, I think that's one of the pitfalls right now. Of we were talking about whether it's really worth it to get a degree right now, which is really just depends on the person and what you want to do, right? But yeah, there's this crazy myth, and I don't know if you experienced this when you were growing up, but like you have something in your life that you're going to be better at than everyone else, and that there's going to be one thing, right, that you're going to do, and this is what you're supposed to do. That is a load of horseshit. Like I love my job and I love this industry, but shit, there are 3-4 things right off the top of my head that I'm like, yeah, I could have done that, and I could have been happy doing that too.
Yeah.
But life is a series of decisions, and you go down a road, and all of a sudden you're on a new path.
Yeah. I agree with I think I agree with the first part of that. That I think everyone does have something that they're
right.
Maybe not better than everyone, but
I should say that everyone has their own talents for sure.
Yeah.
But that does not mean that you're limited to one job or one industry. And so I remember thinking when I was going to college, like, oh, I'm supposed to find this one job.
Yeah.
And it puts so much pressure on myself to find this one mythical job.
Yeah. I'm 17-year-old
right.
that has so much else going on.
Yeah.
And then you're also told, and you gotta, and I don't know if you
gotta pay your student loans back,
and you gotta pay probably $100,000 to do it, and so it's just like, holy shit, this has to be like a good choice.
Right. I have to enjoy this. I have to be passionate about it. I have to buy in. It has to be fulfilling, and I have to make a fuck ton of money.
Yeah. So I totally agree with that. But there is everybody has things that they're just naturally better at.
Absolutely.
And then it's finding it's the people who are successful is finding what job that is, but what activities or skills that is.
Mm-hmm.
And then you could do that now in the economy we have. And I don't mean the Trump economy. I just mean generally in America.
Yeah. If
you have whatever skills you have, you could find it in any sort of industry, like sales. We'll take that example. We could be. I'm a salesman by trade and probably by blood. My dad is too. They could do something like you. You could do something like me. We could go be some sort of like a Burton rep.
Right.
If we love snowboarding that much.
Yeah.
You could go, that's one of the skills and the kind of day-to-day activities where if you're okay with talking to people, trying to sell people, and you're good at that, you want to be better at it, go find like what part of the industry, what part of America really sets you on fire. You could be selling season tickets for the Twins if you love baseball, or if you could go sell loans if you love people, helping people get that loan to find their dream house.
Right.
People I think look at like just maybe the job title or.
We are fickle creatures, right?
Yeah.
There are a lot of materialistic, artificial things that drive us.
Yeah.
And it's just not where I think we're supposed to be gaining our affirmation, or what we think we're supposed to be doing. Mm-hmm. But yeah, you're totally right. I mean, everyone has their own set of skills. It's just, I could be selling craft beer anywhere else but here, and I wouldn't be as happy because I'm not at Snake River Brewing. I'm not in Jackson Hole. Yeah, and that's what makes it. It's all part of it. It's not just, oh, this is a profession. I like this, so I'm gonna like it wherever I go. No, of course not. Yeah, it's a way bigger picture than that.
Yeah, I've told that sort of thing to people who, I don't even know what jobs they were, but they were like not liking their job, and they're like, I want to move to so and so.
Right. So you not like your job, or you not like where you are,
and they like their job could be done in those places. So I was like, okay, go be the best damn whatever that is there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like if I was talking to like a bartender, like go be a bartender the 4 seasons. You'll make more money than you and I do probably.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely, 100%.
Right,
100%.
Like be the best damn one. Or if you're a real estate agent and you don't like something, go do that in Vegas or LA. Right. You'd be a billionaire.
If you're still, you keep moving around, it's like, well, what's not working, right? Like, oh, I really enjoy this town. This job's not working out. It's just, that's what I feel like it just comes back to the pressure that people put on themselves. And it's, I think it's good to have pressure to a certain degree to hold yourself to a certain standard. But you have to allow yourself to fall down every once in a while. Otherwise, you're not going to learn anything.
Yeah. Yeah, you don't learn anything when things are going great. It's just like dopamine's rushing through. You're like, oh, this is awesome.
Well, that's when you get complacent with where you're at. And it's like what you said in the beginning. Changes are going to happen. It's inevitable. It's not trying to avoid them. It's taking them in stride and understanding what your strengths are and how you can use that change for you and, your community as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. I think there's a lot of pressure too that comes from like parents.
Sure.
Just like if your parents were doctors, you'll have a lot of pressure to be a doctor, even if it may not make you happy or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah. I definitely have a lot of friends like that.
Yeah. And I'm really thankful my dad always made it clear that I should want to be great for me. And we probably told it to me hundreds of times, but not until like the last few years did it really resonate and be like, oh, I get it now. It's not because coach says to do something. It's not because he says or my mom says to do something. It's not because a teacher says it. You want to succeed because you want to look back and say, I